Let this be the time you find perfect peace, man. Yeah, at this point in my life where nothing shocks me, if God told me to wait, I'm in the lobby. Cause even if the world against me, I know that I got me. I know that I got me. That's mind, spirit, and body. Protect your heart, for everything flows from it. 10-4, Lord, I copy. See, God is my escape when that levee break. I can't wait to know the code to the heaven gates. I'm trying to give you whole foods, get you off of them debit cakes. No, you ain't gotta run in the devil's race. No, you ain't gotta run at the devil's pace. I'm standing firm, he don't wanna see me face to face. The way I'm living, protected and fully armored. While you're trying to stay afloat, I just learned to swim underwater. Look, appreciate you, but I know the ones who supposed to hear it. The new rap group, call him D and the Holy Spirit. Hope you feel the truth inside every moment I post a lyric. Coast to coast with emotion, here's no smoke and mirrors. I pray you hear wise words of a man, but he who don't follow just built his house on the sand. I'm standing in the light trying to get my spiritual tan. I'm just happy that my dreams align with God's plan. Let this be the time you find perfect peace. I pray that it's the time you find perfect peace. The day I go, you'll say, I kept the message. I praise God, help you seek him through self-reflection. Don't get distracted, it ain't worth it, don't waste a second. If God ain't in it, what you doing? Go change your method. The path is already laid out, uniquely chose for you. Your own flesh is set out against you, it want the most of you. If it don't benefit your potential, it can't get close to you. The mindset to do what's right for you is what you supposed to do. We don't think the same, I know it's levels though. You want a brand new car, but I want self-control. I want to keep my joy, I want my patience too. You want to be happy, but I want peace, you can't compare the two. I learned to say no if it don't work for me. I'm probably somewhere praying if you search for me. Become a better me, I wouldn't hurt to see. Let this be the time you find perfect peace. This may not be for you. This may be for the person that you can be. Let us pray.
Our Father, who art in heaven, I come to you as your humble servant, asking you to allow the Holy Spirit to guide my every word, so that I may approach your throne in the appropriate manner. I need to thank you, Lord, for all the rich blessings my family and I have received.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ARP in the Morning. I'm your brother Wise, man. I appreciate you guys pulling up this morning. I hope all is well with you guys on this fine Wednesday morning. Grace and peace to each and every one of you guys, man. I hope all is well. I hope you guys are enjoying this morning, man. It's the middle of the week. We're about 10 days away from being in November. Fall is here. The leaves are changing. You know, the mornings are crisp. It's beautiful, man. Beautiful. Happy hump day to you guys, man. And also, I got to show some love, man. Today is my sister's birthday. She turned the big 4-4 today. I don't know if she's watching the stream this morning, but shout out to her. Happy birthday, sis. I talked to her. I just got off the phone with her not too long ago. I'm not sure if she's going to jump in and watch the stream. I know she was headed to work, but I still wanted to show her some love, man. The big 4-4. Shout out to her, man. Yeah, and I saw Renee Suzanne in the house this morning. Shout out to you, man. I hope the surgery was a success. You're still here amongst the living, so but you know, we're wishing, and obviously we wanted to make sure that we keep you lifted up in prayer, and we're also hoping and praying for a speedy recovery. I hope you're doing well. What's going on, Renee? Shout out to Lori Addison. Let me show some love to my folks in the chat. Says happy hump day, y'all. I'm number one this morning. Hit that daggone like button. Y'all follow Lori Addison, man. What's up, Aon? How you doing this morning? Appreciate you pulling up. We got Ryan Stegall in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up. What up, Sapphire K9? How you doing this morning? Marcy Richards in the building. Number 3, shout out to you. Appreciate you. What up, Kevin Caldwell? Appreciate you. W Healthy Self. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, Malachi? What's going on with you, brother? What up, B? How you doing this morning? It's good to see you this morning, sister. What up, Donald Lovejoy? How's it going this morning? Shout out to my brother Hunter. Always comes through with the Bible verse to get things kicked off properly. And today's verse comes from 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 61. And it states, "And may your hearts be fully committed to the Lord our God, to live by his decrees and obey his commands as at this time." Shout out, Hunter. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much. What's up, Ed? How you doing this morning? Good to see you. Marcy Richards in the building. Good to see you as well. What's up, Shelby Dodd? What's going on, Hadassah? What's going on with you? I see Renee Suzanne in the building. Shout out to you. It's good to see you up in here. Up in here. What's going on? All right. Cool Ramon in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Grace and peace to you as well, Omega. Omega X in the building. We got BWR in the house. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. We got Delinda House in the building. What's up, Lonnie King? It's good to see you, brother. We got Sonny Wright in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Cameron Peterson in the building. What up? What's going on? Texas in the house. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, Sugar Shane? How's it going, man? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. We got Nelly in the building. Shout out to you. Mama 1961 in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What's up, Keywan Lynette? How you doing this morning, sister? A-Town in the building. What's up, Angela Montgomery? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. We got New Jersey in the house. Have you voted already? I'm assuming that you're going to vote for, what's her name? Mikey Sherrill. She got that $7 million. Can't really explain where it came from. Goodness gracious, these folks. What's up, Amber Young? How you doing this morning? What's going on, Marla? How you doing this morning? Appreciate you pulling up. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What's up, Chisaxi? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Mark Galvin in the building. What up? What up, Mark? How you doing, man? Nashville in the house. Luby Fishing in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Appreciate you. All right, who else we got up in here early this morning? See who else we got up in here. All right, JJ O'Hara in the house. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, Steve? How you doing this morning? Buffalo in the building. Appreciate you pulling up. What's up, Tabitha? How you doing this morning? Appreciate you pulling up. AK Bauer in the building. What's going on? PA in the building. We got Deborah Carver in the house. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Oh, yeah. What's up, Jane? How you doing this morning? What's going on, Tinkerbell? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. We got Kenneth in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Mr. Largy in the building. What's up, Kristen Knight? Is that Deborah Nebel? Hopefully I pronounced that properly. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right. KK Montero in the building. Shout out to you. Number 57. All right. Jennifer Boswell in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up. What's up, Haydens? How's it going this morning? What's up, Kirsten? How you doing this morning, shipmate? Appreciate you pulling up. We got Matt M in the building. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What's up, Chester? Massachusetts in the building. Okie Angel, appreciate you pulling up. What up, Junior Ray? Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Big Job Ford in the house. What's going on with you, man? Wisconsin in the building. All right. What's up, Hobo Rob? How's it going, man? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, Maverick? What's going on, Nanny? How you doing this morning? It's good to see you. We got Barb Blake in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What's up, LJ? What's going on with your sister? Got Donald Rice in the building. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys pulling up this morning. Yeah, so let's get into it, man. What up, DePanda? Appreciate you pulling up, man. Hopefully I pronounced that properly. Duh, or is it DA? I'm assuming it's duh. Appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. What's up, Eleanor? How's it going? Marilyn in the building. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you. Is it Balrizanger? Hopefully I pronounced that properly. Appreciate you, man. Thank you very much for pulling up this morning. What's up, Dion? What's going on? Joey out of Wisconsin. What's going on? Appreciate you. Appreciate you guys pulling up this morning. And what's going on, Wendy? How you doing, man? Good to see you. All right. Thank you very much. And how do you say this? Is it Nita? Is that correct? Hopefully I'm saying that right. Thank you very much. I appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. All righty. Let's get into it today. Hit that like button for me. Hit that like button for me if you haven't done so already. Super chat, super thanks are greatly appreciated. Shout out to all my ARP family members, man. Thank you guys very much for supporting the channel. Let's make sure we show Free Flying some love in the chat. Appreciate you pulling up. And what's up, PPG Bird? Appreciate you pulling up. The West Coast is in the house. Shout out to you guys, man. Thank you guys very much. Y'all make sure y'all show them some love. First time in the chat this morning. Appreciate you pulling up, man. Thank you very much. All righty. We're going to get the show kicked off here. Y'all seen the thumbnail, seen the title. So we're going to start there. We're going to start there, and then we're kind of going to, work our way down. But I do appreciate you all pulling up this morning, as always. Again, hit the like button. And, like I said, super chat, super thanks are greatly appreciated. And shout out to those that support the channel via Cash App. What's going on, Eric Plummer, as well, as those that have supported the channel via Buy Me a Coffee. I thank you guys very much as well. Somebody did buy your brother a coffee yesterday, but they didn't leave their name. So whoever that was, thank you very much. God bless you. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. Uh-oh, we got a Bama individual in here. Alabama fans are like Cowboy fans, but at least Bama wins. I got to give you guys that. Bama, you guys win, unlike the Cowboy fans. My grandma's a Cowboy fan every year. Cowboys gonna win the Super Bowl every year. 25 years later. No offense to my Cowboy fans in the chat. In the chat. Oh my goodness gracious. But yeah. Let's get the show started, man. Thank you guys.
This is video that we just have in from moments ago from Los Angeles. This is according to multiple ICE and Fox News sources. A U.S. Marshal and an illegal alien were both shot in L.A. this morning. It was during an immigration operation. Both at this time, we are told, have non-life-threatening injuries. Fox is told that federal agents surrounded and boxed in a target. That target then rammed federal vehicles in an attempt to escape. The feds fired their weapons. One U.S. Marshal was hit in his hand in what initially appears to be a bullet ricochet. The target criminal alien was hit in the elbow, we are told. Both expected to be okay, and they are at the hospital, and we are awaiting an update on that situation. All right.
All righty. So we got to talk about it, man. So an immigration enforcement operation turned violent after a Mexican national, an illegal immigrant, let's just call him what he is, rammed his vehicle into federal agents who were trying to detain him. Let's just talk about it. You have an illegal immigrant who didn't want to be detained, who decided, hey, I'm going to just ram my vehicle, into the ICE agents or, into law enforcement, which I think is just pretty daggone ridiculous. It really is pretty ridiculous. And shout out to Diane. Y'all make sure y'all show her some love as well. Appreciate you pulling up this morning and first time in the chat. Thank you very much. And also shout out to Barb for joining the ARP family. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you. Thank you very much. Thank you. But according to DHS, this particular individual that rammed his vehicle, into into ICE agents, he already had an escaped. He's already already escaped custody once before. He's already done it. And when the U.S. Marshals and ICE agents attempted to stop him again, and they tried to stop him near downtown, he weaponized his car, repeatedly crashing into their vehicle to evade arrest. In the chaos, officers were forced to defend themselves and the public. Shots were fired. One bullet ricocheted, injuring a U.S. Marshal in the hand and striking the illegal immigrant in the elbow. Both were taken to the hospital, and thankfully no one died. But this situation could have ended very bad for the culprit, the illegal immigrant, or for those on the law enforcement side of things. Now, you think that this would be a clear-cut case of law enforcement just doing their job, risking their lives to enforce immigration laws that too many politicians ignore. But if you turned on CNN or any left-leaning outlets, you'd see something very different. I want to show you guys the headlines. I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to get into the articles and things of that nature. We're not going to do that today. But I want you guys to see the headlines that mainstream media. Let me pull this down. Okay, we'll do it this way. Look at this. U.S. Marshal and undocumented immigrant shot during ICE stop in L.A., officials say. This is from ABC News. I want you guys to see this. Man shot by federal agent charged with assault after alleged ramming during ICE stop in L.A. Here goes your favorite, CNN. U.S. Marshal and undocumented immigrant, a popular TikTok streamer, injured in shooting during ICE stop in Los Angeles. Yeah. This is where we are. And what in the world is going on here? Give me 1 second. That's very interesting. We're having some technical difficulties over here. Shout out to, how do you say that? Is it Nay? Nay? Hopefully I'm pronouncing that properly. And if I'm not, I apologize. Thank you very much. I appreciate you joining the ARP family and appreciate you supporting the channel this morning. Thank you very much. God bless you, man. Thank you. Yeah, but y'all saw that. Y'all saw it. So daggone ridiculous, man. So ridiculous. It's the headlines, man. The headlines focused on how a suspect was gravely wounded, not on the fact that this was a violent illegal immigrant who attacked U.S. officers during an ICE operation. These people found a way to twist the daggone story to make the lawbreaker look like the victim. Now, if you compare that to how Fox News reported it, a U.S. Marshal and any illegal immigrant were shot during an immigration operation, that right there is what you would call objective. That's accurate. But CNN and others would rather stir emotion and paint ICE as the aggressor. Now, let's remember that this isn't some isolated incident, right? This isn't some isolated incident. Homeland Security has reported that assaults against ICE and DHS officers have skyrocketed by over 1,000% in recent years. And that includes vehicle rammings like this one, which are becoming disturbingly common these days. And it's not happening in a vacuum. These incidents are directly linked to the reckless policies and rhetoric that you hear coming from these quote unquote sanctuary city politicians and so-called immigrant advocates. DHS even called them out, saying these dangerous attempts to resist arrest are happening right after activists and officials have been coaching illegal immigrants on how to block ICE. And they're not wrong. If you guys recall, I don't know if you guys remember this, but back in February, your favorite representative, AOC, or Sandy Ocasio, as everybody should know her by, hosted a Know Your Rights webinar that basically encouraged defiance against immigration officers. Do you guys recall this?
Principle number one in what you can do is that when one of these things comes to your backyard, you can resist. And what that happens over millions of people is that you generate enough friction that they cannot go as fast as they want to go, okay? So I'm going to give you some examples that have already been working. Let's start with immigration and ICE. When people say, what can we do? In my community, we are a heavily immigrant community. ICE raids deeply affect and disrupt our community. So, number one, if you live in a community with a lot of immigrants, know your rights. That's one tangible thing you can do that I want you to do. And that means know your rights if you are a US citizen as well. Okay? Here's one way that we're going to create some friction in this system. Tom Homan, who's directing a lot of these ICE operations nationally, etc., he went on TV practically crying. This dude was whining his ass off because ICE went into the city of Chicago, and Chicago had prepared for them. Community organizers, activists, and their mayor and local elected officials who were solid on this issue, they educated the city on their legal rights.
And you'll wonder why an illegal immigrant thought it was a good idea to ram his vehicle into federal agents. You'll wonder why, huh? Gavin Newsom, he took it a step further. He took it even further. He literally issued guides in California advising illegal aliens how to refuse ICE entry. And Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass distributed multilingual flyers telling migrants how to evade arrest. So what did they think was going to happen? When you have the governor, when you have a mayor of one of the largest cities in America, I guess the largest city out there in California, instructing illegal immigrants on how to evade, ICE and keep from being deported, so forth and so on. What did you think was going to happen? I mean, if you tell people to resist federal law enforcement, someone is going to get hurt. I mean, this is inevitable. This is the inevitable consequence of a political class that prioritizes ideology over safety. And instead of cooperating with ICE, these sanctuary cities officials are escalating tensions and endangering both law enforcement and the public. And now we have members of Congress like Dan Goldman. Yes, I'm sure most of you guys aren't familiar with Dan Goldman, but you have people in Congress like Dan Goldman, a sitting Democrat, calling for ICE agents to be arrested. You can't make this stuff up, man. You cannot make this stuff up.
Around the country, in Chicago, in Los Angeles, in Portland, masked ICE agents, aggressively militarized, assaulting lawful permanent residents and United States citizens. That is amoral. It is illegal. And it is un-American.
Congressman Dan Goldman is asking the police commissioner to prepare the NYPD to go after law-breaking ICE agents.
And if you are an agent and you assault a lawful permanent resident without reasonable suspicion, falsely arrest them, and use excessive force, that is a crime.
City Comptroller Brad Lander has seen this happen again and again at Immigration Court at 26 Federal Plaza.
They still are not presenting judicial warrants. They're giving no lawful basis for the abduction. They're not identifying themselves.
If I had said to you a year ago, what would happen right now if an individual wearing a mask, not in a law enforcement uniform or wearing a badge or identifying themselves, but just wearing a mask, rolled up here and grabbed one of you without presenting a judicial warrant, without identifying themselves?
The same people defending criminals at the border are now threatening the officers enforcing U.S. law. The enemy is within. The enemy is within. We don't have to worry about some outside nation attacking us. Nah, we don't. We don't have to worry about that. The enemy is within. We literally have people in Congress supporting criminals. It's ridiculous, man. It really is. You literally have people defending criminals. Seriously. And they're threatening the officers enforcing the law. Representative Goldman even urged the New York Police Department to target federal agents if they assault migrants. Yet he's silent when it comes to officers being assaulted by illegal immigrants. Silent on these folks using vehicles to assault officers. Silent on, these folks attacking officers that are on duty. Now, let's be clear. This ICE suspect, he didn't shoot anyone. That didn't happen. The marshal was hit by a ricochet when agents returned fire, but that doesn't change the fact that this suspect chose violence, using his car as a weapon. He could have killed somebody. It could have cost lives. And still, the left paints ICE as the villains. And what's worse is that protesters gathered outside the hospital where the wounded officer was being treated, taunting police and cheering for the criminal. The enemy is within. Kirsten said it. These are some treasonous individuals in Congress and the people that are out here protesting for this foolishness. The moral decay is on full display right now. In blue cities like LA, justice has been replaced by blind hatred of law enforcement. ICE and federal agents just doing their jobs. Just doing the job that politicians won't. Enforcing the law Congress already passed. And if sanctuary cities cooperated, these dangerous standoffs, they wouldn't happen. But Democrats would rather side with chaos than admit the president was right about the border enforcement. Every officer that puts on that badge deserves respect. And while the media mourns for criminals, ICE agents are risking their lives to protect the nation. And without them, America loses not just its borders, but its sovereignty. But I'm convinced that the people on the left, these people that are out here supporting, protesting, these people are the true enemies of our nation. We don't have to worry about some foreign adversary coming from another nation. We literally have to defend from the people that are considered, you know what I'm saying, our fellow men and women, fellow Americans. It's really sad, man. It's a really sad place where we are right now in our nation. you expect that it's going to get worse. Because these people are being emboldened by congressmen and women, governors, mayors. These people are being emboldened. They're putting a battery on these folks' back. It will not surprise me that in the very near future, we're going to be covering a story of a full-fledged shootout between some protesters or some illegal immigrants out there cutting a fool with ICE agents or with DHS or whoever. It's not going, I will not be surprised. It's not going to surprise me one bit if that is a story that we will be covering in the very near future, especially out in a place like California or potentially New York, where you have congressmen basically telling illegal immigrants that, hey, man, we got your back. We got your back. Carol, you're absolutely right. I believe that is what they want. Shout out to Sugar Shane, man. I believe today is his birthday. Sugar Shane, shout out to you, man. Happy birthday to you, brother. Why didn't you say something earlier? Yeah, it's going to be crazy. And if that Mondani character wins up in New York City, it's going to be crazy. It's not going to get better up there. It's going to get significantly worse. And it's looking like he has a legit chance to win. But moving on, we got to talk about another insider book about the Democratic Party and the previous administration. And we got to talk about it, man. We got another person that's showing us how despicable they are. They got to make some money. They got to capitalize off of how bad the previous administration was. They got to capitalize off of it. You got this individual, that was a part of the Biden-Harris administration. They're making the rounds. And this time you got the former White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, or, Cringe Jean-Pierre, as some folks call her. And the pitch is familiar. Hey, this is a behind the scenes account that promises hard truths and painful lessons. But here's my question. What exactly is this book going to tell us that the American public hasn't already seen with their own eyes? Seriously. And does anybody believe anything that this lady has to say after she literally lied for 4 years straight? I mean, for years, people on the right pointed out the White House's messaging failures, the obvious contradictions, and yes, the president's decline. And those critics were mocked. They were dismissed. Some of them, they were deplatformed. Right? Now, these people done, put that finger up in the air and the political winds have shifted. Now we're supposed to treat a late-breaking memoir as a revelation. These people are sick, man. Seriously. And they think the American people are dumb. And to be honest with you, yeah, we do have a lot of them out here, unfortunately. What's going on, Queen Bee? How you doing? Unfortunately, we have a lot of not so intelligent people in our country. Unfortunately, y'all saw the past weekend, man. Y'all seen the No Kings rallies. Y'all see this foolishness. We have a lot of folks in our nation, unfortunately, that aren't that smart. It's ridiculous. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys have watched the movie Idiocracy, but I remember watching that movie when it first came out and was like, man, this movie is stupid. Man, people will never be this dumb. Fast forward to 2025 and yeah, people are that dumb. People are that dumb. People are that easily led. And to be honest with you, you got a lot of people that they just want to be led. Zephyr said, no, they're dumber. We are really living in idiocracy right now, man. We are really living in it. And I remember watching this movie and it was hard to get through because it was so dumb. I was like, the people just can't, they can't possibly, this can't be real. There's no way that we're ever going to get like that. Please. Fast forward to 2025 and whoa. Goodness gracious, man. It's really sad. It's really sad how far we have fallen. Because we have fallen, man. We've fallen off a daggone cliff, man. Seriously, we have fallen off a cliff. We have entirely too many people that are, you're absolutely right, Marcy, sheep, willing to go along with anything. Willing to go along with anything. Think about this, man. The Democrat Party usurped the people's vote. They had the word on the street is they had some, closed backroom vote, and that's how Kamala Harris got the nominee. We don't care about the people. Shout out to Amethyst Angel. Says another great movie is Wag the Dog. I don't know if I don't think I've seen Wag the Dog. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm gonna have to check out Wag the Dog. I don't think I've heard of that before. Hey, B, you are absolutely. He was appointed president with the tattoo name, not sure. Today, we have illegals ID'd as no name. Yeah, we talked about that last week. Silly, man. You would think like, man, people can't be that dumb. Yeah, they can. But I want to walk through, what's really going on and why, KJP's tell-all book, quote unquote, looks more like reputation management than honesty. But I want you guys to see this clip here, and I'm sure some of you guys have seen the clip already, but here's KJP during her book tour implying that Joe Biden spoke to the press more than the president does right now. Because this really tells you everything you need to know about this media blitz. How can anyone with a straight face say that the previous president spoke to the press more than the current president, Donald J. Trump? Dude literally talks to the press on a day-to-day basis. He probably talks to them more than his advisors would prefer for him to talk to him. I mean, come on, man.
That's number one. My job was to speak to what the decision he made in the sense of continuing, trying to lift up the policies and the legislative wins that we did have. We did have legislative wins.
Sure,
and
but he didn't talk about them that well, though. He couldn't talk about them. He wasn't campaigning.
No. Wait. First of all, he did talk about them. Whether it broke through or not, he did. Tim, he did talk about.
Just because you scrunch your face doesn't mean that people are going to believe you. Scrunching your face doesn't mean that you're telling the truth.
He talked way less to the press than Donald Trump does. Way less. And he wasn't out there at all. He wasn't good off the cuff. He wasn't doing press conferences. Let's just be real. Like, he didn't do paid events.
Tim, that's not true. Tim, you're conflating all of it. That's what you're doing. No, you're telling me he didn't talk well about it. Then you're telling me he didn't talk at all.
He didn't do either. He didn't talk very often. And when he did, it wasn't very good.
He's absolutely right. He didn't talk very often. And when he did, you're like, what the heck is this dude talking about? And two, this is our president. This is our representative. Seriously? Come on now.
He sounded very
old. Maybe you weren't paying attention to what we were doing at the White House. But
I paid attention. I'm with you on the policies. I'm talking about his performance.
The president, the president spoke to the American people a couple times a week. He traveled and did domestic travel and talked directly to the American people. We are talking about a time politically that is incredibly partisan. It's hard to break through any messaging. And it was an incumbency as well.
I mean, this is what you would call peak gaslighting. This is what you would call that, right? That was peak gaslighting. Goodness gracious. Now, hey, she's got the straight hair. I don't know if that's a wig. I don't know if that's her real hair, but she's got the straight hair going. But it makes me wonder why during the previous 4 years she chose, the more natural hairstyle looks. And hey, I'm not one. I love the natural hair looks. I love it. My wife has natural hair. I'm a fan. But was that more for show, or and just to show like, hey, I'm the press secretary and I want to just show, how black I am? Is that what that was about? And now that she's no longer in that role, you're gonna go back to your straight hair, or I don't understand it. I don't get it. If any of you guys believe that this lady is an independent, I got a bridge to sell you. Seriously. What we just witnessed is what the young folks call peak gaslighting. Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's nothing real about this lady. Nothing real about this lady. Seriously. I mean, you guys remember she tried to dismiss those viral clips of Biden freezing or wandering off as cheap fakes. You guys recall that? Cheap fakes? I've never even heard of such a thing as a cheap fake. I've never heard of such a thing, but that's what she called it. Cheap fakes. This lady stood there reading from her binder, insisting everything was all right, and insisting that what we all witnessed was right-wing manipulation. This is what this lady said, and you had a lot of people that believed it. Come on, man, cut it out, man. We all got a chance to see this. These were not edited deep fakes or cheap fakes, whatever she want to call it. These were real moments of a president who was clearly struggling, and everyone saw it. Everyone saw it. Most of her briefings, they were robotic anyway. Half the time she sounded like Siri reading preloaded talking points. And now she's claiming that Biden talked to the press more than the president currently. I don't know a president that talks more to the press than President Trump. How many interviews has this man taken? I mean, goodness gracious. How does a person just sit there and just blatantly lie like that? If I'm not mistaken, if you guys recall, towards the end of Biden's administration, there were months where you didn't even hear from the president. Everybody's like, where is this guy at? Dude spent more time on the beach, more time on vacation than any other president in U.S. history. Crazy. The fact that this lady came out and said that, hey, Biden talked to the press more than Trump. I mean, come on, cut it out. Even Stephen Colbert called her out. He called out the nonsense. I mean, pure spin. He said it's pure spin and nobody's buying it. You know it's bad. When you're getting called out by Colbert. President Biden or the Biden-Harris administration did a good job. Who believes that? Seriously. Do any of you all in the chat, do you guys believe that? Serious. Dodge and deflect and lie. That's her entire playbook. Dodge, deflect, lie. You know it's bad, man. When Colbert's calling you out, you could see his frustration. You could see his frustration during that interview. Like, this lady's never gonna tell the truth. When even he smells the spin, you know it's bad. And she's on this book tour trying to rewrite history like every other Democrat who finds honesty. Only after leaving office, Cringe Jean-Pierre paints herself as a candid truth teller, but let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it real. Her job at the podium was to spin, reframe, and pretend that everything was fine. And essentially, we could kind of, just kind of lump that all up into one word. Her job was to lie for the administration. Simple as that. It wasn't to inform, it was to lie to the American people on a day-to-day basis. Simple as that. And if that's what she did for years, why should anyone believe that the mission has changed today? Her book claims that the administration had more wins than the media gave them credit for, blaming poor communication instead of failed leadership. Well, ma'am, you were the press secretary. That's what she said. She said they had more wins than the media gave them credit for, blaming poor communication instead of failed leadership. But that dodges the real issue. Biden's visible decline, when asked point blank if she noticed it, she danced around the question. And if Americans saw it, and reporters admit that they saw it, and this is an individual that said, hey, I dealt with the president every day, how do you not see it? Come on, man. When you say things like that, when you talk like this, it doesn't build credibility. It actually tears your credibility down. It destroys whatever credibility she might have had. It destroys it all. And the book, also drips with bitterness toward Democrats who betrayed Biden, revealing more about the party's internal fractures than any grand truth. The Biden circle, the Kamala camp, Obama's old team, all fighting for control. The public sees the chaos. No memoir can spin that away. And at its core, this book avoids the one thing voters actually care about, which is honesty. Most of us just prefer, hey, just keep it real with us. The White House overpromised, they underdelivered, and they gaslit the entire country for 4 years. And now you have this lady out here preaching about transparency while her own office fed reporters pre-approved questions. We know this to be true. Sage Steele came out and admitted. She said it. I can't even say admitted. She was just exposing the fact that, hey, I got a chance to interview the president. They had all the big wigs watching and listening. And she was told, ask these questions and do not ask any follow-ups. You're not allowed to ask a follow-up. Ask these questions. That's it. No follow-ups, no additional probing questions, none of that. You ask this question, you let this man mumble his answer, and you move on. That's what Sage Steele said. And I would assume that there's a plethora of other people out there, if they had a chance to interview the president at that time, I would assume that they would tell you, hey, the same exact thing. And that's a lot of the reason, if you noticed, he was only interviewed on safe, in what was be considered safe spaces. The current president, President Trump, goes anywhere and will talk to anybody. Doesn't matter. The previous president, the least interviewed president in modern U.S. history. The least interviewed president in modern U.S. history. That's a fact. And this lady's out here preaching about transparency. Cut it out. Seriously. Cut it out. We all are aware of the pre-approved questions. We're all aware. And while all that was going on, they continued to call the president, the current president, the true threat to democracy. The irony writes itself. Seriously. The irony writes itself.
Now, in this moment, there's an existential threat. Our democracy is hanging by a thread. Some people would say we're already an authoritarian regime. And I need to see teeth. I need to see fire. And not just me. Many people are worried and concerned.
So now obeying the Constitution is considered authoritarian. But then again, in their eyes, a lot of folks on the left, a lot of Democrats, there's been a bunch of them out there, they believe that the Constitution is outdated. It should be ripped up and thrown away. And the people that can't maintain the daggone budget, the people that are running the country into the ground, they should be the ones to rewrite a new Constitution for our nation. LS, you're absolutely right. It's crazy. If the left had it their way, they would rid the nation of the Constitution. And they would write something that would be so terrible for everybody that lives in this country. You know it. And you know it. And these people got the nerve to wonder why no one's buying what she's selling. If you want to rebuild trust, start with truth the people can verify, not some sanitized spin. Own up to the failures. Come out and say, hey, I got a chance to see the president. Hey, he was legit on a decline. I got a chance to see it. I got a chance to see it. You know, explain what you learn. But don't try to airbrush the obvious and expect applause. And until that happens, this isn't whistleblowing. It's brand rehab after a bad exit. And Americans are pretty much done with the spin. At least the majority of us are. Large majority of Americans are done with the spin, no matter which party's doing the talking, to be honest with you. Angela, you're absolutely right. A paid puppet. Paid puppet. Shout out to Ramon. Is it Ramona? Sorry about that. Ramona Lopez. Thank you very much for joining the ARP family. God bless you. I appreciate you supporting what we're doing over here. Thank you. Shout out to C. Cook for the $5 super chat. Says, perhaps she was confused because of the instruction from all the other presidents running the country. Yeah, that was a president by committee over there. Shout out to LJ with the $2 super sticker. Thank you very much, sister. And shout out to Steve, is it Hadeen? With the $2 super sticker, says prayers for Les recovering from a stroke. Make sure you keep Les lifted up in prayer as he recovers from a stroke, man. Thank you very much for the super chat. Okay, and finally, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Kareen's latest outrage, and you know, she's not alone in this. She's not, because you can bet that the media is all up in arms over this one as well. Kareen's furious that Trump is adding a ballroom to the White House, a ballroom. Something every president could use for official gatherings, state dinners, and charity events, and it's being privately funded. Privately funded. No taxpayer money involved, yet Kareen went on TV calling it corruption at its finest core. And she said that Trump is selling the people's house to the highest bidder. I want you guys to take a listen to this. Shout out to, is it Balrazanger? Hopefully I'm pronouncing that properly. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, I really enjoyed my first time with all of you live chat. Shout out to the chat. Thank you. Let's get into it.
On the demolition.
So,
Yeah.
so the People's House is basically being sold to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
It is corruption at its core. And I heard someone say this when I was backstage. It could not be, there's no greater metaphor right now than what's happening right now in this country than watching Donald Trump take a wrecking ball to the White House.
Yeah. Kind of obvious. Yeah.
It's too obvious. Like you couldn't make that up.
Yeah.
When I saw the image yesterday, I was like, this is not real.
But why did they let him get away with it? He has all of these people who just let him get away with whatever he wants to do.
That's what he's been doing for the last 9-10 months. Like the powers that are in the DC are not standing up.
Yeah.
They're acting as if they're powerless, which is part of the book, Independence. Like, no, you all have power.
Yeah.
You all have power. Do something with it.
Yeah.
This lady hasn't told the truth once from that podium. And clearly, she is not about to start telling the truth now. She's not. Now, I'm sure you guys are familiar, or I'm sure you guys know already, hey, construction just began on the president's new $250 million White House ballroom, which should have been a simple footnote, an upgrade to host more official events. But instead, the media is covering it like it's a national emergency. So here are the facts. The new space will triple the East Room size, about 9,000 square feet versus 3,000 square feet, allowing bigger state dinners, bill signings, and cultural events. And the kicker is it's privately funded, not taxpayer money. That one detail alone changes everything. But the coverage, it's pure melodrama. Outlets are calling it destruction as if the White House were being bulldozed. And in reality, this is routine. The building's been remodeled countless times. Truman gutted it in the 40s. Truman gutted it in the 40s. Every president since has updated it. This is just the next chapter. But still, for some reason, the left's losing it. These people are grasping at straws. They're grasping at anything to be upset. To be upset at. They're acting like new drywall equals dictatorship. I mean, it's construction, not corruption. But hey, outrage is the only thing that they build well these days. That's it. It's just these people are ridiculous, man. They really are. These are some ridiculous individuals.
What you're alluding to is kind of what struck me. A ballroom is a symbol of excess and opulence. Mm-hmm. And we're living in a time where those optics just are flying in the face of the reality of the majority of this country. When you look up, he won on making cost of living better, but inflation's up 3%. Yeah. 74% of Americans say they've seen household prices increase by at least $100. The unemployment rate is at a four-year high right now. People are struggling to eat, and this was like a wealthy ballroom paid for by wealthy people for wealthy people to come and dance in a ballroom. And like, I know this was private funds, but I can't help but imagine how far $250 million could go for families who can't put food on the table.
Right?
Like it's just
that's what struck me. It's a $250 million project. It's going to be tacky and gaudy. You know that.
And people are losing their health care.
And they're losing their health
to give
care.
tax breaks to multimillionaires.
And to billionaires who probably are some of the private donors for this tacky, gaudy, nasty ballroom. And the thing that you...
Yeah, I want to stand corrected real quick. 90,000. But hey, none of these ladies on The View are willing to give up any of their paycheck to help people like that, right? Last I checked, I believe Whoopi Goldberg makes about $50,000 a week. Sonny is going to make $4 or $5 million this year. What are we talking about? Seriously. Every last one of these people on that table is a multimillionaire. Every last one of them. Well, Sonny may not be anymore because, her situation with her husband, who knows where that's going. But a president doing renovations without taking money from the American taxpayer. How dare he? The scandal. The scandal. They're taking health care from folks. Really? We don't want to pay $200 billion for health care for illegal immigrants. Send them home and let their own countries take care of them. We don't want to send millions of dollars, for the feminist movement or projects out in Africa. We don't want to do that. Right? We're not interested in that. But the Trump team, they did shoot back. They called out the hypocrisy. I want you guys to see this.
Why will a new office building for California lawmakers cost as much as an NFL stadium? That's a question we've been asking California's legislative leaders overseeing the Capitol Annex project. Live Copter 3 flew over, getting this exclusive look at the progress crews have made. The $1.1 billion project is supposed to cover costs for the office building, parking garage, and a new visitor center.
But it will $1.1 billion project in California.
Will also include private hallways for lawmakers that allow them to avoid the public and avoid us, the media. KCRA 3 Capitol correspondent Ashley Zavala has been digging into this plan and has an update.
This new office building in Sacramento is going to be one of the most expensive buildings in the United States. And yes, California taxpayers are footing the bill. Even though the lawsuits against it have been over, the California legislature, which is in charge of it, continues to keep details in the dark. Steel beams are up and construction is underway on the Capitol Annex project. The $1.1 billion construction and counting will eventually house the offices of lawmakers, the governor, and lieutenant governor. It'll cost about as much as Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara and more than the Golden One Center in Sacramento. But we still don't know why or how the money is being spent.
Motion passes.
The legislature's Joint Rules Committee overseeing the project still won't give a public update, even though lawsuits against it have been over for 6 months. No one with Joint Rules would do an interview with us on Monday, but officials confirmed there are now no plans to construct the visitor center on the west side of the historic Capitol. But even without that part, they said the budget for the project overall won't change. Does that make sense?
Y'all saw that, right? Come on now. These people aren't mad about the renovation. They're not. They're mad about who's doing it, but they're not upset with the renovation. When Democrats spend billions of dollars on vanity projects, the media shrugs. They say nothing. But let Trump add a ballroom, privately funded, and suddenly it's an existential crisis. It's a crisis for democracy. Where was the outrage? Where was the outrage when Gavin Newsom spent over $1 billion on California's Capitol remodel while his state drowned in crime, homelessness, and record inequality? Record inequality. Crickets from these people. Nothing. Because it's never been about fiscal responsibility. Never. It's always about narrative control. Always. If critics are worried about optics, fine. Demand transparency. List the donors, enforce ethics rules, and keep policy separate from philanthropy. That's fair. I can get behind that. But let's stop pretending that, the White House is some untouchable museum. I mean, it's a working office, a global stage, and it evolves with the times. A larger, safer, more accessible ballroom that can host veterans, teachers, first responders, and state leaders isn't tearing down history. It's building capacity for the future. And the only thing being torn down here is another phony media outrage cycle. These people suck, man. Seriously, they really do.
Crews have started tearing down parts of the East Wing at the White House to begin building President Trump's long-desired ballroom. I wonder what you make of this.
Well, it's certainly Donald Trump. I mean, he is all about hospitality. That's his business. And this is going to give us a place in the White House to do the biggest and best hospitality we've ever done. I will say I don't think it's super unusual for the White House to undergo massive construction projects. I mean, all the way back to Thomas Jefferson putting in the colonnades, or Theodore Roosevelt putting in the West Wing, or FDR putting in the East Wing, and Nixon putting in the press briefing room over top the swimming pool. The fence going up, Clinton closing Pennsylvania Avenue. I mean, you go on and on and on. The White House is typically under construction, either in small ways or in large ways. The most significant cosmetic reconstruction was probably Harry Truman when they gutted the White House, but he also, you'll remember, added the Truman balcony, which changed the image of the south side of the White House. So I think this is another in a long line of improvements. It's a historic building, but it's a living building, and it's reflective of the people who live there. And I think future presidents will enjoy having a space where, you know, you could have all the senators or heads of state, or, you know, frankly, it's a public space. They'll be able to put more people than ever inside the White House. It's pretty cool.
You see the look on that lady's face down there at the corner? You see that? If the previous administration would have done this, they would be bragging about it. And it would be, you know, front page news. It would be, you know, one of the top stories out there. Look at them. They're improving the White House. But because it's the president, because it's Trump, these people are all upset and in their feelings. And Scott's absolutely right. Scott is absolutely right. Trump's not the first president, and he won't be the last to renovate the White House. But the left's meltdown, it isn't about construction. It's about legacy. They can't stand that President Trump's name is going to be etched into the building's history. They can't stand it. And let's be real. Democrats had zero problem when Newsom blew $1 billion on California's Capitol remodel, which was taxpayer funded. It was over budget and hidden behind tons of bureaucracy, tons of it. But a privately funded White House ballroom, suddenly it's elitist. I mean, please pick a principle and apply it evenly, please. The upgrade isn't vanity, it's functionality. A bigger modern ballroom means better security, accessibility, media space, and event capacity. Simple as that. All funded by private donors, not the taxpayers. But I guess that might be the other issue too. You know, Democrats love raising taxes and spending our tax money however the heck they want to spend it, right? So if it was taxpayer funded, maybe they'd feel better about it if it was us paying for it. But due to the fact that it's privately funded, you know, and it's not the taxpayers on the hook. Hey, that's, you know, responsible governance, not extravagance. Sure, ask fair questions. Who's donating? What's being preserved? You know, what safeguards exist? But the outrage is just pure theater. The White House has always evolved, always. You heard Scott. You know, doing needed upgrades with private money is smart management, not scandal. And the bottom line is this. This isn't tearing down history. It's actually preparing America's most iconic home for the next century with no cost to the public and every benefit to the people. Simple as that. A couple super chats I want to read real quick. Shout out Spaces with the $2 super chat. Says, what up, OG? You see my email? Oh, you see the email I sent yesterday? I did get a chance to see it. I just hadn't had a chance to respond, but I will here in a second once I get off of here. But yeah, I saw it. Appreciate the super chat too. Yeah. I want to share this with you guys real quick. This is shout out to B. She sent this over to me. I'm not going to play the entire video, but I want to get into this real quick, just briefly. Give me a second. All right, hold up. Shout out to my guy Jeff with the $11 super chat. It's not your fault. Al-Anon Recovery Channel says, only president to ever donate his salary and pays for improvements himself. He must be decried for this. Again, Maybe it's because this isn't taxpayer funded. Maybe that's the reason why they're upset. That's got to be. That's the only thing I can think of. Because it's not paid for by the taxpayers, and hey, they don't have to raise taxes, on the American people to get this accomplished. Maybe that's what they're upset about. I don't know.
Now is CJ Pearson, RNC Youth Advisory Council co-chair. CJ, great to see you again. Let's talk about KJP on her media blitz, reminding all of us of just how bad things really were under the Biden administration. Now, she, of course, has been attacking the Democrat Party. Now she's an independent. But my issue is that she was the one spending years and years lying to the American people, covering up Joe Biden's decline. And now she wants those people to go out there and spend their hard-earned dollars on buying her BS book. I mean, what's your reaction?
You're exactly right. And thank you so much again for having me. I got to say that not much has obviously changed with Karine Jean-Pierre. She continues to show that if her mouth is moving, that she is most undoubtedly lying, whether or not it's, on a book tour, behind a White House podium. She actually has no relationship with the truth whatsoever. To sit here and continue to gaslight the American people about the mental acuity of President Biden, when we all saw exactly what happened, his downward spiral throughout his term, and to make us seem as if, or make us feel as if, that our eyes are lying to us, our ears are lying to us, is just disrespectful at this point. The American people know exactly who Joe Biden is, and they know who he wasn't, and what he wasn't was all there, period.
100%.
Shout out to CJ, and he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. Absolutely right. Goodness gracious.
Media blitz and promoting her book, and she had a meltdown while she was on stage, and she happened to get...
Now, you guys got to see this right here. And I really wanted to put this on for this right here because Kamala Harris, I don't know. She might have been out that juice. Might have been out that juice on this one.
JP is taking no accountability. Now, Kamala Harris is still on her media blitz and promoting her book. And she had a meltdown while she was on stage and she happened to get heckled. Watch this.
Soon enough. And I sometimes think about, you know what? I am not president of the United States. You want to go to the White House and talk to him? Then go on and do that.
Yo, did she stand up like somebody's drunk auntie? Let's
And I sometimes think about, you know what? I am not president of the United States. You want to go to the White House and talk to him? Then go on and do that.
She thought she said something. CJ,
it's always a different accent. You never know which one's going to come out.
Always a different accent. I got to tell you, I've been watching this media tour, and Kamala Harris has found a way to blame everyone under the sun for her loss, but the actual real culprit. She hasn't blamed Jose Cuervo. She hasn't blamed Tito. She hasn't blamed Jack Daniel. And I think that she should actually be, putting her ire on those fronts, right? Here's the deal. Kamala Harris, the American people rejected her because they realized that she actually had no competence whatsoever. She would be a continuation of the same failed Biden agenda the American people had grown tired of. And so, she continues to demonstrate that. And all I'm hoping for at the end of this tour is that she has deluded herself enough to the point where she thinks that she should run again. Because if she runs again, we will have a President J.D. Vance or we'll have a President Marco Rubio, one of the two.
He's absolutely right there. And it's a high probability that she will run again. And a very, very, very high probability that she will get her tail whipped again. But the reality of it is this. If they actually run a true, real, and fair primary, I don't even think she gets through the primary, to be honest with you. I don't think that the people in the Democrat Party, I don't think they want to see Kamala Harris again. I don't think they want to see it. And I don't think that she can beat anybody that we put up from the right. She's not beating J.D. Vance. She's not beating a Rubio. She's not beating a Byron Donalds. She's not beating DeSantis. I don't think she can beat anybody. But again, just like Jasmine Crockett, hey, if y'all want to toss her out there, keep on. Keep on. She's the gift that keeps on giving. Seriously. And B, you a mess. You can say sad to say that she reminded you of your mom. Come on now. Come on now. Don't be disrespectful to mom. Don't do that. Don't be disrespectful. But she did stand up looking like that drunk auntie at the at the barbecue or at the cookout. She done had one too many and she yelling at the kids for no reason. Mike C said that is definitely how my drunk auntie acted at at Thanksgiving dinner. And she sat down like she thought she cooked. Oh my goodness. You're absolutely right. She's never been chosen by the American people. Never. She's been selected. She's been essentially implemented. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Oh man, I tell you, man. Seaburger said spilling the Chardonnay. Y'all a mess. She was definitely installed. Definitely installed. What's going on, T.A. Caskey, man? Good to see you. Good to see you this morning. And with that being said, we're going to get up out of here. We're going to get up out of here. Jeff said, king of gaslighting. Jeff, you was out there protesting over the weekend? I thought I saw you out there. Shout out to Ballrazinger with the $2 super chat. Says, it would be a gift to our party if she ran again. Absolutely. Absolutely. What are your thoughts? Do you guys think that Stephen A. Smith is trying to gear himself up to run for president? And if so, if he decided to toss his name in the or his hat in the ring, to quote unquote run as a conservative, which I don't think he would do you think people would vote for him? I wouldn't. He wouldn't get a primary vote for me. But do you think that people would vote for that guy? Shout out to Malachi with the $5 super chat. Says Kamala for president, AOC for VP, and Jasmine Crockett for Speaker of the House in 2028. That's what they want. I'll give you Kamala for president. I'll give you that. And I'll give you AOC for VP. They don't want Jasmine Crockett in any position of leadership. The Democrats don't want her for nothing other than being a loudmouth out there, to talk trash about the president. She did run for a couple leadership positions within the party. And yeah. They didn't put her in there. They decided, nah, we don't want her as a leader. Shout out to Jeff with the $11 super chat. I know he had to come in with something silly. He said he was at the BLM rally in Baltimore. I'm half black from the waist down. Lord have mercy. Jeff. Oh, man. I'm calling your wife. I'm telling your wife on you. I'm calling Becky. That is ridiculous. Shout out to Terry Cisco with the $5 super chat. Jeff, you are ridiculous. Seriously. You are ridiculous. Jeff's like those bad kids that you can't take nowhere. He's like those bad kids. Man, we can't take you nowhere. What are we going to do with you, bro? What are we going to do with you? Goodness gracious. We're going to get up out of here, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate you guys pulling up this morning. Hope you guys enjoyed the show today. A little longer than yesterday, but I'm trying to do my best. I want to keep these things as compact as possible. I want to try to keep things compact to an hour, no more than maybe an hour 15, hour 20. That is the goal. And then, you know, obviously the panel shows on Fridays are obviously going to be longer. Obviously, those are, you know, the longer shows and things of that nature. But oh man, yeah, we got to work on Jeff, man. We got to work on Jeff. We got to work on him. Seriously. Panel show tonight. Again, I still haven't come up with a name for the show for tonight, but 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come join us this evening. Come check us out, man. We have a great group of folks. We're, you know, going to discuss a little bit of everything, you know, in the evening show. You know, Jeff's my guy. Appreciate you, brother. But yeah, join us later tonight. You know, join us later tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Do that. I appreciate you guys, man. And, you know, thank you guys for pulling up this morning, man. God bless each and every one of you guys. It is Wednesday. It is hump day. Make today a great day. And, you know, Lord willing, we will be back at this thing tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for ARP in the morning. As always, keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. You guys take care. Peace.